What is going on, everybody? This is Brendan back again with another video, and today we are at Atlanta Motorsport Park, otherwise known as AMSP Kart Circuit. This is my favorite kart circuit that I've ever had the pleasure to drive. I love this track. We're doing some time trial again today. This is my ongoing series of doing time trial on every single track that's available in KartKraft and trying to, at the very least, get into the 90th percentile of time trial in every single track. Today we're going to get all the way up to the 97th percentile, which when I first started these challenges, I never expected that I would be able to even compete on that level consistently. And definitely as I do this challenge more and more, I'm noticing my skills improve. I'm noticing these challenges are taking me less and less time. Well, sort of at least. The last challenge that I did at Wilton Mill, that's a really challenging track for me, and it took me basically 2 days, like 2 different hour-long sessions to get into the 93rd percentile. And this track, this challenge, only took me about 20 minutes, and I've cut that down to about 7.5 minutes just to make a more entertaining video. But yeah, anyway, so this track is, as I said, my most favorite track that I've ever driven. It has everything. It has so much character. As you can see, so much elevation change, really interesting off-camber sections, double apexes like this corner right here. It's a really flowing track, and it's really fun to just hook up a great lap. So the interesting thing is there are only 4 braking zones in this whole circuit, and 2 of which are the really important ones because they lead to long straights, or not even long straights, but they lead to long flat-out sections, the second and third braking zones. Both of those 2 corners are really challenging corners to get right. They're very technical, and so if you can nail the second and third braking zones and get really good exits from those, you make up a lot of time on those long straights, and that's the easiest way to get fast at this track. So as you can see there, after my second attempt, I beat the first time, and I'm about to start the second here. So I'm always a little bit rusty when I start these time trials and I haven't driven in a few days, or I haven't driven this particular track in a few days or a few weeks, and that was the case here. So I needed a few laps to just, rub off the rust a little bit, get the hang of it, and kind of relearn the track again. So you'll see in a second here, into this second corner, this hairpin, I just use way too much steering angle and totally mess up there. So we're going to skip ahead another lap or 2, and we're going to watch this attempt. So you'll make sure you get a good exit into that final corner so you have good speed running up to the start-finish straight. And you see I lifted there into the first corner, and it took me a while to realize you actually don't have to lift at all if you get the line right. So I'll point that out later in this video when I finally stop lifting in that corner and getting the line right. So that corner there is the first corner, the first braking zone that's really challenging, that is really crucial because look how long this straight is. And this is the second braking zone that's really crucial to get right. There's that really weird kind of chicane, and then you're basically flat out this whole time, all the way through the chicane, all the way through this long right-hand sweeper, all the way up until the final corner here, which also leads into a pretty long straight, the start-finish line straight, but it's not as long as the second and third braking zones, so not as crucial. So there we go. We beat that second challenger after just a few attempts and just a few pretty common mistakes, honestly. So the national ranking now is in the 88th percentile, so pretty good, and we're already in the 91st percentile globally. So I want to get up to 90 nationally as well, and that's where I would stop, but I haven't really even been driving that long yet, so I do wind up going, even after I beat this next one, I do one more beyond that. I hadn't really been making many mistakes yet, so I didn't really feel like I was at my limit, and I wanted to keep going. So yeah, let's take a look at this first lap here. Totally mess up the exit of the final corner heading into the start-finish straight. It's really easy to kick out the rear end. As you can see, I messed up that first corner a lot, so we're going to skip ahead again. This first corner, if you listen to how I lifted the brake off there, that is what I was referring to earlier that you don't want to do. But yeah, if you get the line just right, you can take that flat out, and you don't brake for the first time until here. And a key part of this is you want to basically make that as straight of a line as possible, completely abuse those curbs. Just go straight over them. You make up a lot of time that way. For this, you can abuse the second curb here. You can abuse that curb. You can abuse this curb. And you can abuse this curb. So if you watch the time split on the top left, you'll see every time I take one of those curbs and the driver I'm racing against doesn't take one of those curbs, the difference is like 1/10 of a second that you make up by basically using the entire full track width. That's super, super important for having a fast lap time around this circuit as well. So there we go. We just beat our next time, and not even by necessarily being faster than the driver that I was driving against, but really just using the full track width and using that as a way to make up a lot of time. So at this point, I've beaten my own personal challenge that I've set, which is 90th percentile. But like I said, I didn't feel like I was on the limit yet. And so here we go for the last one that I'm going to do for this session. And I want you to take note of this first corner here. The line that I take and that I don't lift. Then you're going to brake earlier than you think for this downhill, off-camber hairpin. Use as much of the circuit as you can there. As you can see, I was just on the edge of that white line. Brake a little bit, and as you're rounding out that left-hander, ease on the throttle slowly. Don't get right on the throttle too quickly because, again, it's kind of off-camber and you might spin out a bit. It's okay to miss this first apex as long as you, like I said, you abuse all of these curbs. Just straight line it as much as you possibly can through all those curbs. You make up so much time. As you can see on the top left, it says I'm trying to beat a 55.7, but in reality, I was trying to beat a 55.0. I don't know why there was that bug. But I'm up 9/10. By the end, I'm up 1 second, and I wound up getting a sub 55. 54.7, which, like I said, puts me in the 97th percentile globally, which was really cool. 95th nationally, 97th globally. And I was really surprised by that. As you can see my reaction, I didn't expect to be up that high. So for my next video, I think I'm going to do a track guide of this circuit just because I love it so much and I feel pretty confident at it. So I only basically touched the surface of how to be fast. In this video, I want to do a whole separate breakdown, corner by corner, tell you everything you need to know. So make sure you subscribe, be on the lookout for that video, and I will see y'all there.